Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Amy, and today we're going to be talking about my September TBR. So I'm definitely a little late in the game. I've had some technical difficulties along the way with my laptop and iMovie, which I told y'all all about in my last vlog, my last very sad vlog. But today is all about what I plan on reading for the month of September. Now, I've already read 3 books so far this month. I've listened to 2 of those books, read 1 of those books. So I'll start with those. I'll just kind of tell y'all briefly. I won't tell y'all my thoughts or my feelings. We'll save that for the end of the month. But I started off the month with Perks of Being a Wallflower. I don't know why. For some reason, I just really wanted to read this. So anyway, this is about a guy named Charlie. He's 15 years old. He's starting high school. And at the beginning of the book, he loses a friend, and he finds himself needing to write letters to just an anonymous person. And so that's basically what the book is. It's just him writing letters to this anonymous person. It's all written in a letter format. I don't know if you like that. I absolutely loved it. It's just his thoughts and his feelings as he's going through his freshman year in high school, his friends that he meets, the things that they do. It was very fascinating. I'm trying not to give too much away of the books I've already read. The next 2, I'm gonna try my best. Hopefully I can put them over here somewhere if iMovie is working for me. If not, I'll have these books linked down below, and just click on the link and it'll bring you straight to the book so you can see the cover. But this is Trouble by Devin McCormick. I love Devin McCormick. He is one of my absolutely favorite male romance writers, along there with Riley Hart and Annabeth Albert, and so many more, Charlie Cochet, so many more out there. But he's one of my top ones that when he puts out a book, I'm like on it. So this book just recently came out. I believe it was in the month of August. So anyway, I jumped on it. I couldn't help it. I was trying to wait until I could film this video, but not knowing when that would be, I just went ahead and I jumped into it. But this is sort of a forbidden type of romance, if you will. But the student, it's a bit between a teacher and a student, basically. The student is 18, so he is of age, about to be 19. I believe the teacher is like in his maybe mid to late 20s. He's just pretty much getting started with teaching, and this is like one of his first teaching jobs. So our teacher is James, and he is moving into a new town. He's trying to divorce his terrible ex-wife, and he's trying to start all over. So his first day on the job doesn't start out very well, and a very handsome guy, comes to his rescue. He doesn't even think that he could possibly be a student. He's just thinking, oh, this is a good looking guy helping me. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Maybe we can be friends. Because James he's considering himself straight. And then we have Kyle, who had come to his rescue, and then he learns later that James learns later that Kyle is one of his students. So they kind of form a friendship within the book. It's very fascinating reading how the two it was very fascinating reading how the two became friends and how they grew on each other, and how James's character grew, as well as Kyle's character. Kyle is kind of known as the bad boy around town, but you find out why in the book. But I really loved his character as well as James. I loved them two together. I was expecting this to be kind of a drama-filled book between a teacher and a student, not being able to, not being able to be with each other, kind of somebody getting in trouble. But it really wasn't. It didn't really focus on that part of the book. It just focused on our characters in general, and I really like that because you get to know the characters better. And it was definitely more of like a true type of story, and I was really appreciative of that fact that it was not so drama filled. There was a little bit of drama, especially with the ex-wife. But so that's Trouble by Devin McCormick. And then we have Statement of the Year. This is also male romance. This was written by Serena Bowen. This is actually book number 3 or 4. I think it's number 3 in the Ivy Years series that she has written. This is the only male romance book in the series, and it definitely can be read as a standalone. I have not read any of the other books in the series. This very much reminded me of Him, the story of Jamie and Wes. because it is about two guys that play hockey and that were friends when they were younger. They kind of really grew up together through middle school and high school. A terrible incident happened and it kind of forced them apart. Most of that force was put on one of our characters, Graham. Our other character is Ricker. Graham is heavily and deep in the closet and just living a terrible life. Not really terrible, but he's a hockey player. You know, he's in college. He's doing what he's got to do to get by, but he's not happy at all. And then we have Ricker, who has been out and he's doing the best he can with being a hockey player as well as a gay hockey player. And I really love the story. Like I said, it reminded me a lot of him, which it didn't put me back at all. There are their differences, of course, but it very much reminded me of that story. But I highly recommend it. I'm trying not to give out, but since I've already read the books, I feel like, you know, I should already, you know, tell you about them. So let me just go ahead and tell you. Perks of Being a Wildflower, I loved it. I gave it 4 stars. I loved Charlie writing his letters to this anonymous person, and I loved kind of like the little bit of closure we got at the end. It was just a very fascinating read, something I wasn't expecting. Very lighthearted story of a young man coming into age and being a little bit different, and I really enjoyed it. Trouble, I'll put it back up here, was 5 stars for me. I love these two characters. James and Kyle have my heart. Such a sweet story. I cried. It was just beautiful. I loved it. I loved Evan McCormick's writing. I can't wait for more. Statement of the Year, again, 5 stars. Absolutely loved the story between Graham and Ricker. I loved their story of when they were younger and growing up together, growing into each other, growing in love with each other at such a young age, and never forgetting that as they grow older, but yet having to live separate lives, and then finding each other again was just a beautiful story. The audio was fantastic. I highly recommend the audio. We get 2 narrators, one for Graham and one for Ricker, and I always love combination of narrators. Perks for Being a Wildflower, I listened to that as well, and the audio was fantastic as well. Charlie's voice was on point. 2 books I am currently reading at the moment. The first one is The Girl in 6E by A.R. Torr. I am shockingly and surprisingly loving this book. It is a little bit on the effed up side, but I don't know what that makes me, but I am all here for it. I am loving the story. It is written so well. I love it. It's an erotica thriller, which is a very different spin on anything I've ever read as far as erotica and thriller. Combining the two is very different, and I'm enjoying it. Like I said, it's a little bit on the effed up side, but it's good. I really like it. So we follow we follow actually a couple people, but our main character that we follow in this book, her name is Deanna, but she goes by Jessica. She has secluded herself in her apartment 6E. She claims to be very dangerous to the world. I'll read you the little blurb on the back. It's very short. My life is simple as long as I follow the rules, and these rules are for herself. Number 1, don't leave the apartment. Number 2, never let anyone in. And number 3, don't kill anyone. I've obeyed these rules for 3 years, but rules were made to be broken. So she's, at first when I read that, I maybe thought that someone was keeping her in this apartment, but she's keeping herself in this apartment. So that little tidbit you learn right away, so nothing spoiler there. I'm a little halfway in. Yeah, about halfway in. It's very fascinating reading how she goes about her everyday life. She does not get out of this apartment. She is a webcam girl. That is how she makes her income. We get to read about her clientele and how she goes about her daily work. It's effed up, but very interesting. And the other book I'm currently listening to this book. This is The Otto Digmore Difference by Brent Hardinger. I've never read anything by this author. This is a male romance. I picked this because I got an email from Audible saying that my membership has some new features, which include some sort of Audible catalog type of thing. So these audios are included in your membership, and you don't have to buy them, don't have to use your credit. So I've just been kind of playing around with it, and this was one that I found, and I started listening to it yesterday, and it's okay so far. We follow a young guy, Otto. He's an actor. He has not come out yet, but he is gay, and when he was younger, he was in a fire accident, so he is like burnt. I think it's on his left side, all on his left side. He's just scored like a big movie deal, not movie deal, but I think it was a show, and he gets recognized for it and whatnot. And then there's not really much else for him. A lot of scripts that come to him are mostly like these burn victims, and they end up being bad characters. Like, for instance, they wanted him to read for a new spin-off of The Nightmare on Elm Street, and they wanted him to be Freddy Krueger, and he's not into that. He wants to show the world that he truly can act. Just because he's scarred doesn't mean that he has to play this villain all the time. So that's what he's on a journey for, and he finally he thinks he's found the right script. That's kind of where I'm currently at. I don't really know where else this is going. I think there's a road trip involved with like one of his good friends back in high school, and maybe sparks fly there. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with it. It's okay. It hasn't really packed a punch of anything for me. Probably a solid, probably a good 3 or 4 star. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But those are the books I am currently, or I have read and am currently reading. And I have a stack of 4 more books here that I would definitely like to put on the agenda for September. The first one being Girl Last Seen by Nina Lauren. I haven't read the synopsis in a while. I just started picking books off my shelf that I've really been wanting to read, just haven't picked it up yet for whatever reason. I don't know. So that's what I did this month. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna put them on my TBR and we'll see how it goes. But it says Olivia Shaw has been missing since last Tuesday. She was last seen outside the entrance of her elementary school in Hunts Point, wearing a white spring jacket, blue jeans, and pink boots. I forced myself to look at the face in the photo, into her slightly smudged features, and I can't bring myself to move. Olivia Shaw could be my mirror image of 13 years ago. If you have any knowledge of Olivia Shaw's whereabouts or any relevant information, please contact. I spent a long time peering into the faces of girls on missing posters, wondering which one replaced me in that basement, but they were never quite the right age, the right look, the right circumstances, until now. Missing for 1 week tomorrow. Whoever stole me was never found, but since I was taken, there hasn't been another girl, and now there is. I'm ready. Next, I chose to pick The Sinner. Only because my husband just watched it, I believe, on Netflix, and he was intrigued about it. When I told him that I had the book, you know, he was like, well, have you read it? And I was like, no. So I'm gonna read it this month. I keep hesitating to pick it up, I think because it intimidates me, but we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it this month. So this is written this is The Sinner by Petra Hamsfar. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Everyone knows she did it. No one knows why. On a sunny summer afternoon by the lake, Cora Bender stabs a complete stranger to death. Why? What would cause this quiet, kind young mother to commit such a startling act of violence in front of her family and friends? Cora quickly confesses, and it seems like an open and shut case. But the police commissioner, haunted by these unanswered questions, refuses to close the file and begins his own personal investigation. So begins the slow unraveling of Cora's past, a harrowing descent into the depths of her psyche and the violent secrets buried deep within. So yeah, my husband said the show was really, really good. I think he started on the second, or he hasn't started on the second season yet, but the second season has nothing to do with the same characters or anything like that. So we're gonna read it this month. Next up on the agenda is My Lovely Wife by Samantha Downing. This has been on my TBR for a while, and I know she's got a new book out, and I really want to get that one, but I have to read this one first. So all I know about this one is that they're a couple that decided they were going to go kill people. You may have made some mistakes. You might have done some bad things, but you did them together for each other. It says Dexter meets Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Every marriage has secrets. Everyone has flaws. Your wife isn't perfect. You know that, but then again, neither are you. You first saw her at an airport. You spent your last $20 to switch seats and sit next to her on the flight home. But it was worth it when you tentatively made your first joke and she laughed. You fell in love. You had kids. You moved to the suburbs. You told each other your biggest dreams and your darkest secrets. And then you got bored. We all have our secrets to keeping a marriage alive. Ours just happens to be getting away with murder. I've heard it's a really good book. It's really entertaining and fascinating. So we're gonna do it. Also on the agenda for this month, The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I haven't read anything by this author since Daisy Jones and the Six, and I loved that book. Debbie just read it and she absolutely loved it. She told me I'm gonna love it, so I can't wait. I believe this is about a young movie star telling her story of when she first started, all her husbands, something like that. Let's see what it says. Aging and reclusive Hollywood movie icon Evelyn Hugo is finally ready to tell the truth about her glamorous and scandalous life. But when she chooses Unknown magazine reporter Monique Grant for the job, no one is more astounded than Monique herself. Why her, and why now? Monique is not exactly on top of the world. Her husband has left her and her professional life is going nowhere. Regardless of why Evelyn has selected her to write her biography, Monique is determined to use this opportunity to jumpstart her career. Summoned to Evelyn's luxurious Manhattan apartment, Monique listens in fascination as Evelyn tells her story, from making her way to Los Angeles in the 1950s to her decision to leave show business in the 80s, and of course, the 7 husbands along the way. Evelyn unspools a tale of ruthless ambition, unexpected friendship, and a great forbidden love. Monique begins to feel a very real connection to legendary star. But as Evelyn's story nears its conclusive, it becomes clear that her life intersects with Monique's own in a tragic and irreversible way. So, sounds really good. I'm told I'm gonna love it, so we're gonna do it. And one more book I'd really like to fit into September, which, well, I know I'm gonna fit it in because I've been waiting for it. It just released in September. This is Screwed by K.M. Newhold. This is the 4th book in the Forebears Construction series. I'm pretty sure it's probably the last one, but I've had so much fun with this series. All our guys are so much fun. They're hilarious. But I've been anticipating this book and it's now here. Hopefully I have a picture up here to show you. If not, just click the link down below. It'll take you right to it. But this story is going to be Ollie's story. He is the last brother in the construction company of Forebears Construction. All he wants to do is find love, his true love, get married, and just live a happy life with the man of his dreams. He has been married a couple times, been divorced, been dating, and he just has not found that right man. And all his brothers and his friends give him such a hard time about it. So we get Ollie's story in this book, and we also get Daniel's story. Daniel is introduced to us in the first book. He is actually best friends with the character in the first book, which is Ren, I believe. So he's kind of been around in all the books, and you could tell in like the last book that I read that there was something going on between him and Ollie. So I believe in this book, this leads to them somehow getting married in Vegas, and they don't even know they did it. So like some sort of drunken night. I think it's one of the guys' bachelor parties that they spend in Vegas, or maybe the wedding. I'm not quite sure. Let me just go ahead and read you the synopsis because I'm probably tearing it up. But anyway, it says, a drunken wedding to a man who already rejected me once. I've had my share of less than proud relationship moments, but waking up married to my brother-in-law's best friend is a new low. A drunken wedding to a man who already rejected me once? Check. A hefty bet about how long it will last? Check. My feisty new husband determined to make our friends pay up? Double check. I've never managed to make a real relationship last nearly a year. There's no way Daniel will stick around long enough to win this bet. The only problem is, the longer he stays, the more lines blur between what's real and what's for show. Does he feel it too, or am I totally screwed? So yeah, I think this is going to be like a fake marriage kind of not fake marriage, but fake relationship situation, because obviously they got married in Vegas with not even knowing about it. Hopefully things work out for Ollie, because I've been waiting for his story and just wishing him luck, because he's such a hopeless romantic and I love him. But I love all the guys. I'm so sad to see this little series come to an end, but it was so much fun. I highly recommend all the books in that series. All right, y'all, that's gonna be it for my September TBR, I think. Who knows what's gonna happen? I may throw some more stuff in there. I'm in a really big reading mood, which is good. It's like I can't wait to have a book in my hand or a book in my ear. I don't know what's going on this month. We're coming into fall and spooky things. October is coming around. I love October. It's absolutely my favorite month of the year. Halloween's totally a holiday. It's totally a holiday in my opinion, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to spooky reads, and I'm just getting in the mood, I guess. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, thank y'all so much for watching. I'll have all these books linked down below so you can check them out if you want to read them for yourself, as well as any other thing or link you're looking for will be down below. Thank you all again so much for watching. Hope you're all doing well. Hugs from me all around, and I will see you on my next video. Bye, y'all.